Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive structural migration that is fundamentally reshaping the entire cryptocurrency landscape right now in 2026. If you've been watching the markets even a little bit, you know something big is brewing just beneath the surface. So, it's time we unpack exactly what this shift means for you and the future of your digital assets.
Think about this for a second. What if I told you that millions, literally millions of traders are quietly packing up and leaving traditional centralized exchanges? We're talking about a historic rotation of capital here. Trillions in trading volume are migrating over to a completely new financial system, a system that runs 24/7, relies entirely on autonomous code, and, most importantly, a system that nobody can simply shut down or censor.
So, with all this incredible volume rushing into decentralized finance, it begs the ultimate question, doesn't it? Which decentralized exchange, or DEX, is actually the absolute best in 2026? Today, we're doing a rapid-fire breakdown of the top platforms dominating the market, the wild technology driving them, and the hidden risks you absolutely have to know to survive out there. Let's get into it.
Okay, Section 1. What exactly is a DEX? Let's talk about this self-custody revolution.
You probably already know the basics, right? A decentralized exchange means there's zero middleman. It's just direct wallet-to-wallet trading with smart contracts handling all the execution behind the scenes. But the real game changer in 2026 is the sheer unprecedented scale of this self-custody revolution. It's beautifully simple. You and only you hold the keys.
The contrast between the two models is literally night and day. Centralized exchanges, or CXs, they hold your funds, they demand heavy KYC, and honestly, they can freeze you out at any second without warning. But a DEX, it's pure permissionless freedom. And that's exactly why both market veterans and total newcomers are leaving those clunky legacy systems in the dust. Ultimately, it all comes back to that golden rule we've heard 1,000 times: not your keys, not your crypto. It's not just a catchy slogan anymore, it is the entire anchor of this self-custody revolution. It explains exactly why traders, especially those burned by past exchange collapses, are so rapidly moving their capital directly on-chain. Moving right along to Section 2, the 2026 DX explosion. Moving on-chain. Get a load of the sheer velocity of this adoption. By mid-2025, perpetual DEXs quietly swallowed up 26% of the entire global futures market. Just to give you some context on how crazy that is, at the end of 2023, that number was sitting at a measly 2.7%. This is a staggering, massive capture of market share from the centralized giants, and it happened in barely 18 months. So, what's throwing fuel on the fire? Well, it's kind of a perfect storm of growth catalysts. We're seeing massive institutional money stepping in. You've got AI trading bots utilizing smart contracts for split-second arbitrage. Plus, we finally have seamless cross-chain swaps, way lower fees, insanely fast execution speeds that actually rival the centralized platforms now. And of course, enhanced privacy across the board. When you step back and look at all these catalysts together, you realize something profound. The biggest shift in crypto isn't just about Bitcoin's price anymore. It's the permanent migration from centralized power over to decentralized control. And that massive migration is being driven by some seriously powerful platforms. Which brings us to Section 3, the top DEXs of 2026. Let's do the core breakdown. We absolutely have to start with Uniswap, the undisputed, battle-tested king of Ethereum. It's got the deepest liquidity out there, and it's constantly evolving with those V4 upgrades. Honestly, when huge traders want the real market price for blue-chip tokens, they still look at Uniswap first, even if Ethereum gas fees can sometimes be a bit of a pain. On the flip side, though, we have PancakeSwap. This is the retail trader favorite, completely dominating the BNB chain. With its super easy interface and incredibly low fees, for smaller traders, PancakeSwap feels like crypto on turbo mode. Next up, let's pivot to the derivatives market. Hyperliquid is just an absolute futures monster right now. It boasts a fully on-chain order book, offering massive leverage with near-instant execution. Competing right alongside it is dYdX, an advanced trader platform operating on its very own chain, offering pro-level derivatives for a long-running ecosystem of super experienced traders. Pro futures traders are flocking to these platforms because finally they get the lightning speed of a centralized exchange paired with the ironclad security of self-custody.
In fact, if you look closely at Hyperliquid, which is regularly processing over $4 billion in daily volume with a tiny 0.025% taker fee, you hear a very common sentiment among the pros. Hyperliquid doesn't feel like DeFi anymore. It feels like Wall Street moved on-chain. I mean, the institutional attention here is just absolutely massive.
Then we have our ecosystem specialists. Jupiter is Solana's DeFi giant. If you're doing anything on Solana, you're probably using Jupiter for its lightning-fast swaps, low fees, and incredibly deep aggregator routing. Contrasting that entirely is Curve Finance. Curve is the undisputed stablecoin specialist. It acts as the institutional liquidity backbone for stablecoins, offering almost zero slippage. Just to give you an idea of its scale, Curve hit an absolutely staggering $29 billion in trading volume in just the third quarter of 2025 alone. Crazy, right?
Finally, we've got 1inch, which operates a bit differently. It's a smart DEX aggregator. So instead of having its own liquidity pools, 1inch acts like a search engine, querying hundreds of liquidity sources across more than 13 different blockchains. It uses this brilliant algorithm called Pathfinder to automatically split your trade across multiple exchanges just to find you the absolute best price and reduce slippage. Plus, it charges zero protocol fees and even has this fusion mode, which shields your trades from predatory MEV bots. It's essentially the ultimate tool for the smart price-hunting shopper.
All right, Section 4. We have to talk about the hidden risks of DEXs. This is our 2026 threat matrix.
Look, operating as your own bank sounds amazing, but it means you take on all the risks yourself. And the 2026 threat matrix, it's pretty brutal out there. We're talking malicious smart contracts specifically designed to drain your wallet the second you sign a transaction. We have those predatory MEV bots front-running your trades for their own profit, liquidity pools collapsing into impermanent loss, and of course, the ever-present threat of scam tokens and rug pulls wiping out naive investors overnight. To survive this, your operational security has to be absolutely flawless. So here's your playbook. First, bookmark the real exchange websites so you never fall for phishing URLs. Second, always double-check exactly what permissions you are granting to smart contracts. Third, use hardware wallets to keep your keys offline. And the fourth, the golden unbreakable rule. Never, ever share your seed phrase with anyone. Because in the world of decentralized finance, transactions are permanent. There's no customer service hotline you can call to reverse a blockchain transaction. Always, always remember this warning. One wrong click can erase years of gains.
Let's wrap this up with Section 5, how to choose the right DEX. Here is your action plan.
This is exactly where you should start your journey, depending on your profile. Are you a beginner? Head to PancakeSwap. Trading Ethereum blue chips? Uniswap is your best bet. High-speed futures trader? You want Hyperliquid. Deep in the Solana ecosystem? Go to Jupiter. Swapping massive stablecoin volume? Curve is the way. Or, if you just want the absolute best price across the board without thinking about it, route everything through 1inch. The next generation of finance may not be built inside traditional banks or centralized exchanges. It's being built right now on smart contracts, liquidity pools, and code that nobody can stop. The question is no longer whether DeFi will grow. The real question is, are you early enough?
All right, that wraps up our explainer on the 2026 Decentralized Exchange shift. Now I turn it over to you. Which DEX are you using the most right now and why? Drop your favorite down in the comments below. Let's get a good discussion going. And hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button to stay educated and secure before the next massive crypto wave hits. See you in the next one.